best heroes. So definitely excited to see that. On the other hand, Ravenor, it was brought to light to me the recent changes for power overwhelming. Now I know they changed it to only, oh yeah, only stack up on heroes, which is kind of crazy to me because I mean that completely changes the hero. I don't know if they also changed the how quickly they generate or not, but I mean, yeah, we're gonna have to see if it does have the same impact that it has had in the past. He was never the strongest carry to begin with, so somebody else would have to really elaborate on whether or not, because I never followed Rather and never played him too much, honestly. But anyways, let's go ahead and look at the bans here, because they definitely took them out already. So, Impa Boy banned out Glacius, Chipper, and Puppet Master. So, if you're going to run a dual carry lineup, Puppet Master is probably one of the best options, because not only is he capable of putting out a ton of damage, you know, he has both of those disables. And in the laning phase, that is it's priceless. I mean, you can't really ask for more in your carry, and he also has the potential to you know, roam with an Assassin Shroud and create space for the other carry, which we've seen teams attempt to do yesterday, particularly 2-0. Didn't have the best success with it, but you know, the strategy is there, and it's definitely a viable one. So we're going to take a look at Fusen's bans. He's going to ban out Riptide. He's going to ban out Warbeast and Deadlift. And it's interesting that Warbeast made it past the first initial picking phase unbanned, and then, you know, he was still banned. I agree that they should ban him on the second pick, but the fact that he wasn't picked up is kind of surprising to me. And where he is a top-tier ban against a lot of different teams, you know, if not for his push potential, carry potential, just for the scouting potential of his Wolves that we talked about yesterday. So, that being said, we're already getting in here to the final picks. ECX is going to round out their team with Pebbles and Swiftblade, so there's definitely a lot of versatility in the lineups here. You know, Pyro Mag, one of the oldest lane combinations that we used to see in Honcast, Hontour, even Season 1 and 2. I want to say, like, everybody used to play Pyro Mag and TMM trying to emulate the matchups that we've seen. But anyways, and they rounded off, yeah, with Swiftblade, another carry hero who is viable early game. He can run in a suicide lane. Doesn't need a lot of items to be that effective, so that's why we often see him there. And, yeah, BMG taking their time here, really thinking about this last pickup. They grabbed Engineer, so they got their support hero, but I think right now they're lacking in stuns. Ball Lightning is definitely not a reliable stun. Maybe once you get a portal key, but I still wouldn't call it that go-to initiation spell. So I'd like to see some type of carry that has lockdown potential. Now, Arachna has the Spider Sting, which is a slow. Now, the only thing I think is BMG is lacking a little bit in lockdown. They do have slows. They have Midas. You know, Make's going to get a portal key. And that being said, you know, the team as a whole has decent synergy. They have a lot of pick-off potential, I'd say, and single target burst damage. You know, so compare it over to Legion side, where there's a little bit more AoE with Magmus, Pebbles, Pyromancer, even Clanks once he has that Thunderclaw and Swiftblade. But either way, two different complete strategies here, two different teams, both hungry for the win. So we're going to go ahead and get this match started and underway. Got to get that overlay all set up for you guys. So before we go any further and kind of speculate the lane composition, I'm just going to let things pan out here. It looks like Evil Corporation is already rotating as 5 down into the bottom lane. Now, if they do find anybody at all, it would have to be quick, because I think Midas is going to drop this ward down and get the hell out of there. Not to mention he has the Elemental Warp. If they somehow find him, though, they got plenty of stuns to secure a kill here. And here goes. They're about to meet up. Midas does spot him out here. Unfortunately, with Swiftblade in the front of the line, they were not able to get in range. But definitely a good effort here by Evil Corporation. You saw them all pick up their red boots to kind of dash quicker down the lane. Just a few seconds shy. So let's go ahead and see how they match this up. I mean, we're probably going to see the Suicide Midas. And definitely a dual lane mid coming out from Legion side here. Now, I don't know if BMG is going to adjust to that or run a dual lane of their own. It looks to be that way currently because Engineer is sitting here in the middle lane. But either way, match is underway, so we'll go ahead and take a look here. Swiftblade going to be running Suicide up here. No surprise, got him. He's a pretty decent amount of regen pooled onto him, or at least spent all his money on regen, so got wards gifted to him. And yeah, let's go ahead and see what happens over here. Early boots on Teltook here, which means probably early rotations, maybe even an aggressive jungle coming up. That's usually what it leans toward for me. But yeah, so we will see Pyro Pebbles against Ravenor Engineer. We're going to see Clanks down here with a secondary support Magnus kind of offering harassment. We may even see them do a lane pull. I wouldn't be too surprised at that. And up top, it's going to be a solo Arachna versus Swiftblade. And with the recent buffs to Arachna, and being that it is Baltazar on there, yeah, Swiftblade is going to have to man up. If anybody can do it, Zane can, though. This guy is a beast in the suicide role. But I definitely think he's going to have some hard times up here. He should be able to escape death with a Blade Frenzy, but still really going to be risky. He needs to get early marchers for sure to secure his safety. Now, there's already initiation down here, bottom lane. Looks like Magnus landed the Lava Surge stun with a little follow-up damage from Clanks, but not enough to get the job done. So, kind of come back here and just keep an eye on mid, being that it is really the only dual lane here and kind of the main point of contention. Oh, Parasite already level 2. He's looking to D-ward here. Unfortunately, Zane places it really up close to the tree line, and this is going to give him at least vision for the next few minutes until Teltook can afford another one. Another counter ward. So, looking at this Legion side lineup, I will say that one thing that stands out to me is it is an extremely high amount of magic damage. I wouldn't be surprised if by 15 to 20 minute mark, if not sooner, right after boots, we're going to see everybody on this team picking up vestments, or everybody who puts themselves in a position to be taking any sort of damage, because Clanks, we know he's mainly magic damage hero. Magnus, Pebbles, Pyromancer, pretty much 100% damage, magic damage, and even Swiftblade. He's basically the only physical presence on this team, aside from Clanks in the later stages, and even early on, though, he's all Blade Frenzy, so this is definitely something that, we're going to see shrunken heads coming out. We're going to see, like I said, the vestments, and I wouldn't even put it past them. Barrier Idol would be probably pretty good in this game. But I got to say that
let's get it on.
I think Hellborn's going to be avoiding team fights for the most. It would definitely benefit BMG to not overextend and force fights early on. So, we're going to get back into the action here. Kike Stun coming out. It's going to connect on Pebbles, but doesn't push him in the direction I think that Engineer was hoping for. I think he was hoping to push him up the hill and maybe ball lighting him into the creep wave, but he's going to get away with it. Now, we do see Pyromancers rotating up into the top lane. He's going to scout out that 2-minute rune, and Parasite nowhere to be found, so he is going to get that. But rune actually does spawn bottom, and it's an invisibility, so I have to see if Midas goes for it. Right now, he's taking advantage of that experience, while Magnus takes on these stacked camps, and unfortunately for him, it's Stealth Hunters, but he doesn't even have Volcanic Touch yet, so I guess he's going to be just fine. Engineer does go and run up on that invisibility rune, and probably going to see these guys play a little bit more passively. They want to be cautious. Nobody's given up that Bloodlust kill yet, so don't want to be that guy. Here comes the ball lightning. It does connect onto Pebbles. Now the Keg Stun doesn't knock him down the hill, but the turret is hitting him for about the full duration damage. And that's one of those times where it does pay to have the turret, because he was so slow and really stuck in a bad position. He took a lot more damage than you normally would. But that was a brilliantly executed combo coming out by BMG, and hey, they just burned through Pebbles' regen, so at least a good portion of it. Down here, bottom lane, if we compare it, Midas and Swiftblade are right about even. Arachna's doing a good job with lane control, as is Clanks here. Though he did just lose it now that I say that, so we're probably going to see a little more form coming on here. Comes another keg stun onto Pebbles in the middle lane, but the rotation coming out from Skeleton King in Parasite is going to look to set this up. Magnus making a good rotation near, always near, and just in case he was going to be ready to save his teammate there. So take a look back up the top lane. Swiftblade surprisingly getting a lot of XP. He's 338 experience versus Make's 222, and I'm not really sure how he pulled this one off. I definitely probably should have paid a little bit more attention up here. Regardless of that, he has burned through his regen, but now almost level 5. Really close to level 5, which means he's going to be able to rotate very soon. And I think if you're Evil Corporation, you count that as a win, regardless of the fact that Arachna's sitting at 400 GPM. Here comes a Pebbles initiation onto Ravenor. Pyromancer with a follow-up stun. They're putting in the auto attacks. No attempt to body block yet, but that might be because Engineer's coming in. The Keg Stun's going to land after the ball lightning connects, and Pyromancer will fall after attempting the Bloodlust. We did have Teltook nearby, so that's the kill going credit of BMG. That was pretty risky. They just didn't have a lot of damage enough to get the job done, and Ravenor's not the easiest kill at this point in the game, being 800 plus HP. We do have Magnus rotating in the area. He's got a Veiled Riot. Here comes the ball. Here comes the Pebbles stun. Follow up with the Pyromancer stun, and he's trying to buy time. He doesn't have enough mana for a toss, and Magnus can't get in range. Now he's just going to double stun on Engineer and Parasite, dodging the ball lightning. They don't get a kill, but they are going to force these guys out of the lane, and they will have to have regeneration delivered to them if they plan on staying here. Looks like they're going to fall back, so this might be a chance for Pebbles and Pyro to put a couple of hits in on that tower. Taking a look at the top, Swiftblade almost level 6 now, so it looks like he got those early boots, and he's kind of pacing back and forth, getting in range of XP as the creeps die. Make is going to spot out Magnus here, so he's going to fall back, which is the smart decision. Clank's hitting level 6, probably be able to put about a decent amount of burst damage if a Magnus stun were to connect. But, yeah, Ravenor returning to the lane without the support of Engineer, so we're probably going to see these side lanes playing a little bit more cautiously till he does reveal himself. But they got to be careful. Penny's word's about to expire, and it seems like Parasite's only got Vulture Lords this game. But I imagine if he can find a decent camp, mid wouldn't be a bad target to gank. Midas can't. Oh, there's some contention down here for the bot rune. Pebbles wants it. He's going in first. He's going in hard. Magnus is going to lead the way with the stun. The stun does connect on a Midas. One more stun. Pyromancer connects. That's the kill. But again, Magnus falls, taking a lot of damage there from Ravenor. That ball lightning and the Stormblades combination just melting through an underleveled Magnus at this point. Interestingly enough, it's I mean, it looks like it might be a main support Magnus and a secondary support Pyromancer. I guess it's kind of too early to decide, but I mean, he does got boots first, and he's buying a lot of rots, so it may be the other way around. But at this point, he's definitely taking the brunt of the experience loss, being the one roaming. Interesting, if we look at the hero damage, Balthazar's at top, and he hasn't left, so all that harassment went into Swiftblade. I gotta hand it to him. Somehow found his way to level 6. If they set this up right, Magnus can easily get a kill onto Arachna here. Oh, she's coming in for the harass. I'm not sure why he didn't just go in right now. I think they're trying to bait something out. Okay, but Teltook is nearby too. But now you got to deal with the creeps. You have to, and the fog. This is not going to work out as well as they planned. A Swift Slash's out range of the creeps probably would have been a kill on Arachna, even with 1 point in Hardened Carapace. So, yeah, that's going to be that. Ball lightning tossed out by Ravenor here. Not a lot of, it's not very expensive of a spell. I mean, it's pretty much a third of his mana pool, and he only has 2 activated abilities, so, or a quarter of his mana pool, so he's going to be just fine with that. And you can see Engineers using that illusion here to kind of scout out the jungle. I think they have a general idea that there's a lot of people in mid, since nobody's really showing bottom. And as a result, they're going to be playing a little bit extra cautious. But Magma's already triple stacking the Ancients, and that is pretty early, as I don't really see anybody that can take a triple stack right now. But here comes the first rotation coming out from Balthazar. If he gets that Spider Sting off onto Clanks, I'm not sure if Flight's going to be able to do the job and save him. He fences something up. The Spider Sting does connect. Midas going to throw out the Elemental Warp combo on top of the Golden Salvo, and they get the kill. Well, that's a 3-to-1 hero kill advantage coming out for BMG, and a nice rotation from the carry Balthazar. He's one of those guys who doesn't just sit in the lane. Here comes the ball lightning connecting onto Pebbles. That is huge damage coming out, and Engineer with the follow-up keg stun. This is going to be a attempt at a turn kill. Magnus forces Steam Bath, and the mines go out. They don't connect as Magnus instantly juked away as soon as he Steam Bath, which was the wise decision there. But good to see that. Yeah, they have put 1 point into the mines here. Uh-oh, Swiftblade's going to eat that stun coming out. And now the ball lightning. He's going to get dropped down, completely locked down before he can even get a single spell off. So BMG making the huge rotations. And I got to say, it's the ball lightning coming out from Ravenar. He's, I called it an unreliable stun. But this guy has really connected. Okay, there goes the Pebble stun, following up with a beautiful initiation by Pyromancer. They finally get the counter kill onto Ravenor here. But yeah, I mean this guy Boxy, he's been on point with those ball lightnings. They're not always the easiest to land. Sidestepping them is definitely something that you can do without any support. So I'll have to see again. Now Midas is lining up to go Clanks. And Clanks, he got Steam Boots and a Pretender's Crown, but he's still quite squishy. Here comes the initiation. Clanks is going to lock him down. Now the turret, the Engineer ultimate actually is going to be enough to lock him down. Now he bought a little bit of time for Magnus to rotate over, but Magnus is just taking hits from the Parasite. Man, I don't know why I'm forgetting hero names right now. Either way, this is not looking good. It's Magnus now falls. And I just overstaying his welcome, and Magnus of 644 HP is just falling apart here. I mean, there's not much you can do in that situation. It's, I mean, where is he? He's gonna hide in the jungle. He just needs to somehow find levels, and it looks like there's a lot of magic damage coming out for the Hellborn team too. That I didn't really factor that in because Legion side it was so obvious, but. They're going to need some investments or shrunken heads on this Legion side as well. And I think that getting those is going to be, if these teams choose to team fight, that's going to be a core item. At least in maintaining survivability. So I'll have to see. The rotations from Parasite have really been pretty important in this game. And once again, we see here he's going to port down with the Veiled Rod active now. He doesn't have a creep, but 2 more seconds, his ultimate's off cooldown. But this could turn into bad news for Parasite. He's going to get spotted out. Swift Slash is not used, just popping the Blade Frenzy. It is enough to do the job. They get the kill onto Parasite. So finally, Evil Corporation getting into a fight without being outnumbered, though. Pyromancer going to eat the ball lightning after another perfectly set up keg by Fusen. And these skill shots, is it skill from the players that are throwing them, or is it skill? These guys aren't dodging. They're not sidestepping. I don't know. Okay, more action down here at bottom. As Midas put himself in a really bad position, though he does have that elemental warp, and he's going to get away. I guess just trying to put in a little bit of harassment before he takes that walk of shame back. Or will he linger in the lane? Okay, he's going to soak up this wave first, and it's probably the right decision. But all this while, we've focused a lot of attention on the bottom lane. And, Evil Corporation making a slight comeback here, but Arachna noticed it too, so she's been pushing top. Already taking down that tier 1 tower, and just as it stands right now, putting in some serious damage. Swiftblade still has the Swift Slashes available, but she does have the Energizer and a Firebrand already, so Balthazar going for that extremely quick build, where he's going to be able to keep up with the other heroes on the team as they get their portal keys. Speaking of, Midas gets his portal key, and really I'm okay with rushing portal key, Strider's Chalice. That's all you really need to set up multiple ganks here at 12 minutes. That's a bit earlier than I think Evil Corporation is going to expect it, and if Clank shows himself on the map alone, I think that's probably going to be another target here. Though Pebbles would probably be a little bit more valuable. They are looking to set up at least a little bit of a push here as 4 men rotate here from the Hellborn team. Oh, nice line stun coming up by Magnus, but Midas PK's in. He gets a 2-man lockdown in the keg, pushing 2 players in, but Blade Frenzy coming out to keep him alive, and now the swift slashes to take out 2 heroes. Evil Corporation turns the fight in a way that was simply amazing. It was a beautiful engineer ult and keg. I don't know how Swiftblade got that frenzy off in time. But that was definitely the deciding factor because they simply ate his AoE damage. Now they're going to come here and try to set something up on Arachna, but this is not going to be an easy pick due to the fact that this guy's fast. What is his move speed when he pops those abilities? It's insane. I don't even want to look at it. You ain't going to catch him until you get that portal key, so... even with Fusen's ward here, not able to set up a gank on Arachna yet. So returning to the middle lane is Ravener here. He decides to pick up the early vestments, which is probably the best thing he could do. It's going to delay, you know, his portal key item that he probably wants to pick up. But as you've seen, the amount of magic damage coming out from the Legion side, it's definitely required. Oh, Midas here, though, he's looking for a kill, and I do think Clanks is the go-to target. He is hunting, and he may just find him here if he were to take a right turn, the correct turn. But the Veiled Rot is going to get spotted out here by Pyromancer. I don't know if they fully saw it. Ball Lightning connects onto Magnus. Magnus drops instantly, and Pyromancer throws the late stun, so now he's left helpless. Parasite trying to put in the damage, but does not finish him off, so Pyromancer will live today. And they only lose a Magnus, though they did force, you know, pretty much a 5-man rotation here from Legion side. So kind of, I guess that was kind of a fair trade-off, slightly in favor of the Hellborn team, only because they already have the advantage, not because they got the kill. You can see Pyromancer here with the Veiled Rot. Okay, here comes the Pebbles initiation. Oh, but he only tossed the creep! He didn't toss the Arachna, and now she's going to come up from behind, immediately turn on to Pebbles. He falls down. I don't even know what happened to Pyromancer. He just got erased from existence. This Pebbles tried to make a huge play, but I feel like even if he landed that, it would not have really been a fair trade because, you know, they're still going to follow up with the Ball Lightning, and the Ball Lightning is a perfect combination versus a Pebbles. You know when a Pebbles TP's on you or blinks on you, he's going to stun toss. He's not going to be moving for the next, you know, 1.5 to 2 seconds, which in Han time is pretty much an eternity. And if Ravener were to focus him every time he initiates, he's never gonna miss. So I'll have to kind of see here. They are gonna push out the bottom tower here. Teltook with yet again another Vagabond leader, but some Wild Hunters over here. But Ravener's gonna ruin his chances here. So, yeah, Midas is going to get to that point where he's going to start pushing out the bottom lane. Clanks is going to tackle on these Ancients here. If, I was going to say, he could rush the post haste and really get that annoying split push going, but it looks like he's picking up the Mana Tube, and he is going to be rushing the Sheep Stick. It's probably going to be a core item in this game. Like I said, they don't have a lot of stuns, and they don't have a ton of lockdown. So it's gonna. All right, man. I gotta close chat. You guys are intense. I have no idea what I was talking about. Anyways, Magnus finally fighting his way to that core level 7. This is the point where if you've ever played Magnus in a suicide role, life sucks. And he wasn't in suicide, but in the secondary support even, life sucks until you get this level. You got those short range stuns. People's like, why didn't you make the stun? Because, dude, it's got like a 100 range, man. Come on. 400 range. Less than a Midas auto attack. But now he's up to the point where he can make some plays. He's got that eruption. He's got the mana pool for it. And I definitely expect big things from Nier coming forward in the rest of this matchup here. The big problem is this spider is getting out of control. Even without any farming tools. Okay, there's an initiation mid. Pebbles did get a stun off, but not able to get the follow-up from Pyromancer. Now he's going to throw out the toss. He was trying to save it. Okay, here comes the swift slashes. They are going to pick off the Parasite. Ravener's going to escape. He walks... Okay. took an interesting path there, but it was able to get him to safety. Engineer was kind of close by, but not able to get in range. He did get a nice aggressive ward down here that I don't think they spotted because they were too busy with the team fight. Swiftblade does a good job blade frenzying here. He's going to prevent... he's going to prevent or deny that tower. And, yeah, what I was saying about this Arachna. This Arachna is sitting at almost 500 GPM. It's not the kills, though I'm sure that helps. 2-0-0. I mean, it's just the creep farm. 147 creep kills versus 113. Okay, Midas, though, he's going to get spotted out here. Can Pandy land the stun? Unfortunately, Midas takes a turn to the right, so they can't line it up. Now, Arachna's going to turn attention onto a nice temp by Pebbles there to save Clanks, but he realizes the damage is done and it's too late. But Pyromancer now is going to eat that keg stun, and he's going to get 4-man ganked here in the jungle. Where is the rest of the team? Ball lightning thrown out by Ravener. I don't know how this is going to pan out for Legion side. Imboy needs to find a little space. Tank Effect got a pretty early portal key. It wasn't a 12-minute portal key, but with Steam Boots it came around 15, 16 minutes. And, you know, that's plenty early enough. Unless this Hellborn team is holding hands at all times, you know, he should be able to find a couple of ganks with the Magnus. They need to create some type of space. Even Swiftblade at this point can get around and get involved in the action. But Hellborn's going to go for a very early Kongor here. And there was a ward spotted by Panty, but it kind of just spotted them retreating from the jungle. So they may not even suspect that this is happening right now. They could have easily, you know, taken a left here. But that's going to be the token without any type of contention. And it's not even like Legion teams farming while they're doing Kongor. They're kind of just roaming around here. These guys need to find a game plan and execute it. I think he was in range. They probably spotted that Veiled Rot. But luckily he gets an invis in his bottle too. This could be interesting. Can make a nice little initiation and escape with the invisibility rune as well. So Magnus, okay, and I think this is Evil Corporation's plan, is they're going to avoid team fights until Magnus gets the portal key. He's managed to get up a decent amount of gold here in the past couple of minutes, considering he was probably bottom in the team for a while there. But he's about halfway or a little more than halfway. And I think that might help. And, okay, so we just see Midas picking up the post-haste as well. And this is where that very, very annoying push starts to come in. This guy is going to be relentless, and it's going to just keep the pressure on Legion side where they have to constantly, you know, worry about that lane being all the way pushed up. Now, they're going to get some decent farm out of it here because there's a couple waves coming, but let's see. Swiftblade's going to go on to Midas. The question is, can he get the Swift Slashes off before he fogs him? The Swift Slashes are going to connect. Midas didn't even know what's happened. I think he was shopping, because Make didn't even attempt to Elemental Warp out of there. It's one of those oh shit moments. But a nice pick off by Zane. And he's sitting on level 12. He doesn't have a lot of farm, but I mean, he's up there in experience. And that level 2 ultimate is pretty powerful at this point. Especially when you have no Steam Boots. Now, the token was gifted to Arachna. So, interested to see if they kind of just took it for the gold, or just for that extra safety net on Arachna, or if they're going to actually push with it. And I think with a 13,000 gold lead, they're pretty safe to push with it. Now, they may not be aware of that, but now you have the portal key onto Ravenor. You have the portal key onto Engineer. And 20 minutes into this game, it's not only Arachna, the rest of BMG has found a lot of farm here. The only thing that's okay for, if they try to push too early here and Magnus completes his portal key, you know, that might give Evil Corporation a window to make a play. I think 1 or 2 1-team fights, and Evil Corporation can easily be back into this game. They're by no means counted out of it. It just looks like BMG has all the momentum right now, so I have to see that Geometer's Bane popped there and just putting out massive damage. You can see the auto attack damage from Arachna. It's pretty insane already. Ooh! Oh hell no, Ember Boy, that was broke ass deny, man. That was pretty skillful. All right, so Now they're going to take the tier 2, and they're kind of just going to fall back here. With a PK engineer that I don't think has been shown yet, they could easily initiate a fight. But also, Arachna just got her dancing blade, which is pretty much 2/3 of the way to a wing bow. So they might just be holding out on that and seeing if she can complete it before they commit. So Magnus has his portal key. It's a little bit late, especially with Striders. He's got to have one shot at everything. Lava Surge, Eruption, PK. You're lucky if you have enough mana for a Steam Bath. Let's see, 480. That's 250. That's 390. Actually doesn't. And if you use Steam Bath, so 250, 390, 465. He has barely enough. Which is one of the problems. But I guess, you know, as long as he's going to throw out the Eruption first, that might be okay. But he's not going to be able to throw out a stun early in the fight, then throw out a second one. So have to be very selective with when he uses his abilities. So Legion team doing the right thing here. They're kind of just avoiding team fights. They do have 2 carries that can scale pretty well. I'm not sure about Ravenor's late game potential, but he's getting pretty farmed. And he's building up the Shrunken Head. And I think he absolutely needs it. Arachna has the Hardened Carapace. Might get her by in the meantime, but still... Okay, Swiftblade's going to get spotted out here, but Pebble's going to get a nice portal key out. And they definitely do a good job in dodging that team fight here. Couple of seconds left on the token. That's going to expire. You got to understand, if they decide to push now, I think that's the wrong decision, because they could have pushed a minute ago with token. Yeah, they're going to fall back here. Feel comfortable. I think that might be the Wingbow delivered to Arachna right now, or at least another piece of it. This is going to be a little bit harder to pick off Arachna once she completes that. They're going to have to either get us... Yeah, I mean, with the new additions to Hardened Carapace, even if she gets stunned, she's still going to put that 32 magic armor on. You know, that's going to stop a Pyro ult, a Mag ult, a Pebbles initiation, all of these things that are designed to burst her down. She's covered in that sense, and now she has the evasion as well. So even Clank's going to have a hard time focusing her. And I think that Arachna is looking like a stronger and stronger pickup in this matchup. Midas almost completing that sheep stick. That's going to be even more dangerous, because Clanks is nowhere near finishing his Shrunken Head. He's still got about 1,000 gold to go. Alright. Okay, that's an Arachna illusion going to get spotted out here. But Clank's going to start farming top here. He's got a little bit of space created, and his teammates kind of here. Oh, definitely looking to just finish off that. I think it's okay for him to grab the Shrunken Head this game. His team isn't really designed around supporting him and keeping alive. You know, there's no Rhapsody ultimate. There's no Flux ultimate to kind of space him out. He doesn't have the gold for a wing bow to increase his distance. So he can get the Shrunken Head. And his team, these supporting role have a lot of damage to offer. Until a Barrier Idol, Shrunken Head, or Vestments come out, this magic damage is still potent. 1,000 HP on Engineer. They could get an initiation off and kill him easily before Fusen lands his ultimate. So I think that's going to be really crucial, is that, if anything, Legion side initiates onto Hellborn team. You know, Pebbles initiates. He's probably going to get counter-initiated by the Ball Lightning, but I think it's going to be a fair trade-off, because Pebbles kind of like a one-shot wonder anyways. So going forward, we've hit a little bit of a stalemate here. Both teams are, you know, kind of uncomfortable playing overly aggressive here. Don't want to make any mistakes. Evil Corporation's... Alright, here comes initiation onto Midas. The Swift Slashes are going to get disjointed by the Elemental Warp. And that means that Midas is going to be able to escape. And they spent a lot of time there setting up that gank. Unfortunately, doesn't pan out. So yeah, Evil Corporation, they are waiting on that mistake. They're trying to get pickoffs here, but BMG is just playing that calm, cool, collected game. And you can't blame them. The sheep stick's coming in about 500 gold. The shrunken head's coming in 100 gold. The wing bow is completed. Parasite can grab himself a puzzle box. He can grab himself a tablet. Really anything he wants. He can even start saving for a sheep stick himself and engineer with the portal key. So these guys are geared to the teeth, or they're going to be in about a minute or two here. And then I think there's really nothing holding them back. If they want to wait another minute for the Congo spawn, I suppose they could do that. But realistically, I mean, they have the tools they need. And here's the chance. Pebble's standing out in the front line. I don't agree with this. Even if you are just trying to scout out or set up some type of bait so that Magnus can initiate, it's not the ideal setup. I think they need to just get some aggressive wards up or just some key wards up that'll allow them to get the jump. I mean, Strider's on Pyro should allow him to close the gap relatively quickly and get in range. Clanks has no problem with that with the flight ability. So, yeah, let's see though. They got a Veiled Rat going down here, and they're gonna de-ward around Kongor and at least get another ward up there to get vision of it. But they gotta watch Engineer. Okay, I'm not sure if Engineer's is spotted here. He's gonna. Oh no! What is this? Stun does not connect by Tankafet. They could have easily had either of those heroes, and instead they get none of them. Parasite's hiding somewhere on the map with a Vagabond leader. Yeah, that would have been an easy pick-off on multiple heroes. We would have had a 5-second delay on Midas porting in. That was definitely a missed opportunity there. And now we're going to be waiting at Kongor. I think this is going to be the next team fight coming up. So Midas just again, he's been doing this split push thing up here at top for a while, and the defense tower it's taking a toll, slowly but surely. You know, not even putting a hits in, just getting the creeps stacked up. It's taken down to less than 50% of health. So if they do get that genocide, it's just a post haste, and then the base is going to be under attack. Here comes the initiation on Engineer that we were hoping for. That's what they wanted. It's going to come here. They're going to keep turning the fight. You can see Hellborn is retreating here. They're turning to try to focus down the Magmas here so he can't set up an eruption. Now the Spider Stings are going to go out. He is going to get a Lava Surge, Stun Off, and a Battery to keep himself alive. But the fight kind of split up here in the background. Clank's going to get sheeped out by Midas. And they're going to put the Swift Slashes on. Pebble's doing what he can to put out the damage, but there's just not enough. Without Clanks there to really put in the hits and no Magnus ultimate, they don't have the synergy. What started out as such a brilliant team fight for Evil Corporation has turned into a shit sandwich, as I like to call it. And they are not going to be happy with that result. And if Hellborn team decides to, this might be an opportunity for the Kongor. They're not even going to bother counter-warding first. The only saving grace is if they kill it really, really slow, that Magnus could come in. His Eruption is still off cooldown. But they're going to focus it here with 3 heroes. And yeah, Arachna's doing plenty of damage to make quick work of that Kongor. She has a slot for the token again as well. Major key points in that last team fight had to be the Midas coming in at the last second there with the sheep stick to lock down Clanks. He somehow survived, but he wasn't able to put any damage out. Now, up at the top lane, Clanks is going to turn on to Midas. Midas with a quick PK Elemental Warp away to save his life. Oof. Don't copy the name when you copy the pasta. Come on, guys. That's textbook Twitch chat. That's first grade material. Timestamp's okay. Alright. Ravenor here going to grab the Veiled Rot and try to set something up here. He's got a Shrunken Head. He can be that initiator. If he finds somebody... If this Legion team gets initiated on and it becomes a 5 versus 4, I think that's it. I mean, they need to land every single ability. Here comes the initiation out of Pebbles with a follow-up. Sheep Might is going to get the Elemental Warp combo and put him in out of his misery. Pebbles is going to fall here. He does not have money for a buyback. They got the token on Arachna. This is that 5 versus 4. This is that very scary situation to be in. I feel like BMG might be squandering the opportunity a little bit here. Every second they linger is another second closer to the Pebbles respawn and a chance at a turnaround team fight. Looks like they're kind of just waiting, playing it smart, waiting for the creep wave, but you can see they lost about 20 seconds here, you know, and another 20 seconds before this tower even falls. So I would like to see some type of attempt at a quicker, maybe even a tower dive with the illusions. Legion team probably had no intention of defending this tower without Pebbles, and now he's back. So they are going to try to put in some damage on the racks, and Arachna with the uphill not being an issue for this one apparently. Oh, that's true. That's right. Her aura gives True Strike now, which means she can attack uphill, and that's it. That's going to be the first set of barracks. Also happen to be getting word that today, this is probably a lie because everything on the internet is a lie, but it may or may not be Teltook's day of birth. So happy birthday to you, Teltook. Hopefully you win some matches today and have a good one. That song was for you. Okay. Anyways, it looks like BMG is rallying at the bottom lane to put the final nail in the coffin. They got everything lined up here. Now, Magnus is have his ultimate ready. They have all 5 heroes available to set something up. Yeah, and it's really this uphill attack. Damn, you guys are flaming a lot. This uphill attack by Arachna is definitely useful. And with the increased range of Wingbow, you don't see Arachna. I mean, we see her picked enough, but you don't really see her take that dominating role like she's doing right now. Like, we're seeing all the strong points. Check out the Magus initiation in the background. Teltook's going to get dropped immediately, and Ravenor's taking a lot of damage from the Swiftblade. He ate those Swift Slashes in the background, though. Arachna focusing onto Clanks and forcing out the last buyback of Clanks. He's going to resurrect with the token here. Midas trying to do what he can to break up the fight just a little bit, but Clanks is going to come in. The Magnus double stun connects. That was huge, and the Pebbles toss. Legion team is going to clean up here. There's no buybacks coming out from the Hellborn team. And this is going to be a decent start for Evil Corporation. It's going to put a lot of gold in their hands to get some of those luxury items that they missed out on before. I don't think they could have really asked for a better team fight. All started with Nir's Magnus initiation. Just huge plays by Evil Corporation here, not giving up. We know this is one of the top teams in the world at DreamHack even, and the World Finals. I mean, they went all the way. The drafts has changed slightly bit. You know, they have a ringer, but don't count this team out. You know, BMG's been really on point these last few days, but this is still going to be an exciting matchup here on our hands, and we have the next one coming as well. So, moving forward, we're going to take a look here. Swiftblade just kind of farming away. He picked up the Abyssal Skull and a Shrunken Head, which is... it's a lot of defensive items, really. The Abyssal Skull being no survivability. Adds a little bit of damage, but here we go. Some action down here. Bottom. Parasite is going to get caught out again by Magnus. Nothing to jump into. No puzzle box or anything like that because he went for the Hellflower build, and Clank's activating that ultimate. It's going to be able to get a free kill onto him. And Nir is stepping it up right now. This is the second brilliant initiation here. And he's gonna give an opportunity for his team to make something happen here. They might, you know, push the bottom lane here, get an extra tower in. All the while, Swiftblade's kind of just adamantly farming up at the top lane. Now he is going to join his team bottom, and they might be looking to take a team fight, which is kind of surprising here, but it just might be crazy enough to work. Two Veiled Rots. Pebbles is going to spot out Ravenor here, who happens to be Assassin Shrouded. Magnus, a little bit of a premature eruption there. But better safe than sorry, as that's a second kill, and with Ravenor down, no gold for buyback, they can set this up here. So Midas getting back to his roots, which was pressuring this top lane, though. I mean, there's not much left here but a ranged barracks, mainly trying to shift the focus away, and he's going to pay for it. Magma's going to start off here with a stun. You can see Pyromancer. I'm not sure what Pyromancer was doing there. Penny could have got in the position to set up the follow-up stun, and instead, Midas is actually going to get away. Whoa, but they're going to bait it. Magnus is going to eat that creep wave, and the stun coming over Penny does not connect. Nier is going to fall. Penny should have dropped his Striders. What were you thinking? Nah, but that's okay. That's just one quick kill onto Nier. And that's not really going to change anything here for Legion side. Slows them down a little bit if they're going to try any kind of pushing, but I mean that's not big. That's not the biggest deal. So interestingly enough, I feel like the Parasite had so much gold. He's like, I don't know, I could right click a Hellflower. Let's do it. But I don't know if it's been the most useful item. He's been getting picked off a lot. I don't know if some type of positioning item like a tablet is not really conventional on a Parasite, but in this game, some way to kind of stay alive and make sure that you at least get your spells off. I have not seen him get a good Hellflower off. Not to say that it's not going to happen, but I will have to see what happens now. So Fusion getting an aggressive ward up here. It looks as if they're going to use the Arachna Illusions to put some more hits into the D tower. And you're going to make quick work of that. It does a little bit, 2-3% of damage onto the tower, so. Now Clank's finished his Geometer's Bane here, and he went for the Whispering Helm. And once again, I like it. I think there's plenty of damage all around in this Legion team. It's just the way that the draft was designed that Clanks isn't that all-in hero, and it's interesting to see him played in this sense. We almost always see a full supporting role and a 100% offensive item Clanks. Maybe you'll see him get a Shrunken Head, but very rarely do you see a Whispering Helm on top of that. And I'm not sure if it is as effective as as a Clanks that's putting out like 400 damage per attack, but so far it's working for them. And I think the only thing that strat has going for it above the other one is that if Clanks gets taken out early, they still have somewhat of a chance to pick off some fights and continue the fight without being carried. So may not win the fight, but if they can get a couple kills and slow down the push and prevent a base collapse, then it's a succeed. It's a win. So let's see. Pebbles here is going to just keep on focusing with the farm. What's going on here? It's one of these games, man. Nobody likes a lingerer, and both teams are kind of lingering here. It's because BMG has the lead that we're gonna wag our finger at them and say, come on, let's do something. Kongor's up. He spawns on your side of the map, for Christ's sakes. Make something happen. They're scouting out with these illusions, relentlessly looking to find the right opening. Midas is slowly pressuring the base. These little tiki huts and whatnot are falling down by the minute. More and more, we see that, yeah. I mean, BMG is playing this patient, albeit not as entertaining as epic throws. It's the smart strategy. And that's a lot of wards, man. There's a lot of wards in this area. They're all about to expire. But here we go. They managed to take out that Conqueror in the blink of an eye, and he's got a nice little treat for them, the banana surprise, and that's going to get picked up by Midas. That is brilliant. Actually, he's going to give it over to Ravener, which is actually even better. So let's see. I mean, once again, these guys are so geared. They can easily execute here. They just need to get the opening. They need to somehow sneak up here, get some sort of vision to set up an opening. Even still, you guys have so much gold. Just throw yourselves at this team. Nah. If they ever had a chance, it's right now. Token bananas. Any new items here that we haven't seen in the meantime? Not really. post haste on Engineer. The same items on Ravener. Arachna did pick up Rift Shards. She might have had that for a while, but she does have those going for her, and that's a level 4. So, if anything, I mean, just her illusions, this defense tower is going to disappear. It's going to instantly melt here. Pyromancer. Okay, yeah, look at D-Tower. Okay, the Pebbles is going to toss Arachna in. She does have the token, but they're going to put a lot of burst damage into her. The Engineer ult's going to come out in the background. It's trapping the Swift Blade inside, but he is got a Blade Frenzy off. He gets the Swift Slashes off. There's no creeps. It doesn't do much damage at all, and as a result, he instantly melts. Here comes the Magnus ultimate. He doesn't have enough mana for the Lava Surge, though, so he doesn't get it off completely. It puts in a lot of damage, though. We're going to see a buyback here coming from Swift Blade, so he's shortly returning to the fight, but without his abilities, he is helpless. Ravener's putting out the massive damage right now. Take a look at him. This percent is just climbing here. And, wow, I'm not even sure how that fight ended up happening that way. It was the Pebbles initiation, and he's tried it before. The Blink Stun Toss is a great way to eliminate a hero, but a hero with a token, it just means you exhausted all of your abilities to have a 5 vs 5 fight. Your spells are on cooldown. I don't agree with the decision there by Evil Corporation. Maybe they forgot he had the token. Maybe he thought the Hellborn team was going to abandon his teammate. But it was definitely the wrong move. And Ravener probably came close to dying there too. He popped the bananas at one point. That's that. So, I mean, ECX, they're in much deeper water than they were just a moment ago. Hellborn team's got 6,000 gold on Arachna, 5,000 gold on, and it's going to be a Satanic. Ravener's got 5,000. Midas got 5,000. He doesn't even know what to buy. I mean, just go for a barrier idol. Somebody buy one. You guys aren't going to take any damage at all anymore. And I'm not sure how Evil Corporation, they are known for these comebacks and hanging in there till the end and never giving up. But this time, that is a very tall order. I don't want to be. I wouldn't want to be that guy. Man, that's annoying me. All he had to do was right-click one of those creeps, and Volcanic Touch would explode them all. I don't know why that aggravated me so much. Anyways, Legion team's looking to make something happen, and again, they need to make the initiation. Here's Arachna scouting out with her illusions again. She has not stopped spamming that Geometer's Bane button the entire game, and it's definitely paid off for them. It gave them the insight they need to know the Hellborn team's pushing into their side of the map right now. Aside from the fact that, you know, they walked right by Fusion's ward, that kind of gave it away too. But BMG not having any of that. They're going to mosey on to the other side of the map, play it safe, wait, you know, so they can all afford Doombringers in every slot, and then they're going to come and finish this off here. Magnus working on a combination hybrid item here. Not entirely sure where he's going with it, but maybe it's like, hey, I'll buy a tablet, but if I can't afford it last second, I'll sell that and make a sheep stick. I don't know. You got to adapt in these situations, because this is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be the last stand for the Evil Corporation. Will they be able to stand up to the test? That 30,000 gold lead test. We're going to see Teltook pop into the Hell Cannon and just siege down this defense tower while the rest of his team lies in wait. Portal keys abound on 3 of their heroes. Storm Spirit picked up by Teltook. So really, no chance of this Arachna falling between the fact that she has the Hardened Carapace, a symbol of rage, and, you know, the magic damage just not as effective as it was before. That's one of Barracks number 5 falling down. The initiation is going to come out. Ball Lightning doesn't kick by Ravener. He's going to take a huge bunch of damage from the Swift Slashes. He does end up getting away with about 60 HP. Finally, he falls down. Magnus Eruption in the background. His TP must have been interrupted because he didn't connect on anything. He's going to spin around in that Storm Spirit as NG tablets himself out to safety, but Legion team's hanging in there as long as they can. The Frostfield plate's going to pick off Midas. Pebble's kind of standing there in dismay. He can't believe what's happening. Where did they go wrong? BMG takes game 1. So, and an exciting matchup here. Evil Corporation hanging on by a thread as long as they could, putting up with whatever they had to offer. Just not enough in the end. All I can